Hello, my name is Tufwfo, and this is my submission for Black Ops 4 Zombies for AGDQ. I chose this map in particular because if you're familiar with zombies at all, it can be quite risky, but in Black Ops 4, there's a perk that will stop you dying with a cooldown, so that's a very safe option. Plus, this map gives you 3 self-revives, just in case I happen to go down a few times. But usually I won't even go down once, and even then I won't go down more than once, ever. So I'm going to be using the game's in-game theater mode here. As you can see, there's like a control thing. So I'll hide that when I start it. It's going to look a little bit weird compared to a live game, but you'll see everything you would normally. So I'm just going to get this started. So this game has quite a few. It's quite a challenging speedrun because you have to know all the spawn points of the zombies in certain areas, like how I was looking to specific corners there. And you have to be very quick with your movements while also progressing the rounds as efficiently as you can. See, I've got this challenge on the side of my screen, and I'm just sitting next to a spawn point to try and kill the zombie instantly. These challenges are... So there's going to be 3 challenges that I'm going to be completing right at the start of this run. They're randomized to an extent, and each one will give me a different reward. The first one, you can see in the bottom left I have a 3 next to my character icon. That's how many self-revives I have. The first one gave me an extra one, so I'd normally have 2. This second challenge gives me just 500 points. That'll help me open doors. That thing I just drank will, as you can see, extend power-up durations. So stuff like that insta-kill will last just a little bit longer. Sounds a bit louder than I expected. Sorry about that. So, I gotta go in this tower and hit that gong. Little trick there, you can knife a perk and buy it at the same time. Normally there would be an animation playing there, but the knife overwrites it, so it saves me a little bit of time where I wouldn't be able to aim or stuff like that. So the third challenge, I have to kill zombies with my special weapon. So I'm going to just use that here. There's a bunch of zombies around, so easy to do it quickly. And it kills that gladiator, who would normally be quite difficult to kill. Double points is very important. It's completely luck-based. But, like, the drops that drop like that are completely random. Well, kind of. They're random enough. So, a double point appearing at the start of the run like this helps a lot with just being able to buy all the doors and whatever gun I want as soon as possible. So, now that I've done the third challenge, I picked up this pistol. It is an upgraded version, or a pack-a-punched version, of the gun I already had, so it does a lot more damage and fires fully automatic. I'm just trying to kill things as quick as I can right now to get as many points as I can with the double points duration. And also I'm using my special weapon not only to kill zombies a bit easier, but also you can see in the bottom right of my HUD, to the left of the gun is grenades, and then to the left of that is my special weapon. There's a bar underneath it that is kind of an XP bar for it. I want to level that up to level 3, which is the max, so it'll have a new ability that you'll see later on. So, end of round 5, I run down through here. I'm checking a couple locations on the way, because there's something I need to find later on to get a certain weapon it's like a mini Easter egg. Kind of like a side challenge you can do to get something guaranteed, instead of the world record run, which used complete luck to get the special weapon. Which reminds me, I should mention, this run is a few minutes slower than world record, but that's because this game is very random. You can kind of predict where zombies are going to spawn, but they tend to just choose out of a few spawn points around you. So it's very hard to be as efficient as possible. So now round 7, right at the first part of this run, all the way up to like round 17, is basically scripted. I'm going to be moving to different areas of the map. There's the thing that I was looking for earlier, so I don't have to be worrying about that anymore. I'm also picking up a shield part there. Forgot to mention, there's a shield that I need to build. That'll be used for a step later on, but also it just protects me from behind. So yeah, every few rounds I'm on a specific round at the start. I will be moving between areas to get moved on to the next part without the zombies spawning way behind me, and then I have to wait for them to catch up. I also wanted to mention that the challenges on the left, the third one has the chance to be the special weapon killing, or it can be sliding under a specific trap, which will cost me a lot of points. So ideally I won't get that, but if I do get it, it isn't going to hurt the run too much. In my practice, getting that challenge means that I just have to kill a few more zombies when I finish this bit. This cost me a little bit of time. There's one last zombie that I just can't find. And there it is. And then I use this to teleport somewhere. Ideally, I want to be teleported to this room just ahead, this one here, because I can build the shield here and I can buy the gun that I want off the wall. But teleporting anywhere is, well, almost anywhere. There's 2 rooms that are slower than just running here. So the teleport is almost completely useful, no matter what. That just activates the pack punch machine, which like I said, is kind of the upgrade system. I'm just killing zombies to get as many points as I can here before I move on. And just to kind of progress this round, because I don't want too many at the end. I'm looking at all these skulls because now that I've opened the pack punch, the main Easter egg of this map begins. So one of these spots that I'm looking at will have a special skull, which is right there. It's got a symbol on it. It's a bit smaller, stands out a little bit, and I just activate my special weapon in front of it, and then I can pull it out. That's going to be used later on. That part activates the little quest to get the special weapon on this map. So that allows me to pick up this thing I saw earlier. It's just a little head in that corner. You maybe didn't see it because it was very quick, but it was there. And now what I have to do, just going to narrow it down to like 1 zombie while I'm running through. And then I have to build an acid trap by here to melt the head, which will be used on the next round. So I haven't been able to take a break from talking, so now that I have a little second, the perk, you can see at the bottom there's 4 perks in the middle. The one on the left is called Death Perception. That lets me see zombies through walls. I did say that this looks like you can see pretty much everything. That was nothing, I just saw a little puff when I was in game and I thought something happened. But yeah, I said you can see everything that you would normally, but apparently Death Perception doesn't work in theater mode. So basically it just lets me see zombies through walls from a certain distance. So I use that to just locate the last couple zombies in a round. or I'll be using it for a certain step later. So I've had my crowd affinity, you can see in the bottom left. I've had that full for 2 rounds. That means I get that pot. That will be used alongside the spile that I got from melting the head. Now I just gotta wait for the round to carry over. Right now I'm waiting for the gladiator to spawn. Round 10 is always when 1 gladiator will spawn. And that's gonna help me get a part for the next step. Also, I threw grenades into the crowd so I could get my crowd affinity to minimum. So that means that they've just thrown an item into the arena. I just got the axe thrower to throw his axe at that wood. That got me a little chunk that I picked up there. Right there, that is what the crowd threw at me. They hate me, so they threw a pile of poo into the arena. So that is going to be mixed up with a few things in a little bit here. I like to get the zombies down to just 1 or 2 at the end, and keep the gladiator alive, because when the gladiator only has 1 arm, it will chase after me at full speed. Which means I only have to run up to here instead of all the way back outside. So I placed the wood in that pot there. That is going to burn it. This part of the Easter egg... that didn't look like it put the right gun in the pack punch. I just pack punched my gun there to kind of do it as I'm running past. I can do it at many different points in the run. So yeah, this part of the run likes to just burn through rounds, so I have to stay in this area specifically because it has 2 of the fastest spawn points in the whole map. I just aggressively switch between them both, killing everything I can. Because I place the wood, that means I have to wait 2 rounds, so at the start of round 13, I go pick it up, and then I place a mixture in another spot, wait another round, pick that up and put it somewhere else, and then wait 3 more rounds. So it's just a lot of very fast killing. So round 12, you noticed I put the spile into that tree and a pot below it. That got me some kind of poison. And at the start of round 12, it's ready. I can put it in the box here. The box would normally give you a random weapon, but because I put the poison in, it gave me that scorpion. That is going to be used just here, where the skull that I picked up earlier, I can put it in this grinder, and then I fire a charge shot with the scorpion to power it up. The scorpion is just kind of, it's what we call a wonder weapon in the zombies games. So it's just a very special weapon that will kill zombies very quickly. But it's mainly going to be used for stuff like gladiators, because they usually take a lot more shots. So now I'm just killing the zombies a whole bunch, using whatever I need to. And then when I get down to about 1 or 2 again, I'm going to run ahead and have them chase me. When there's only about 2 zombies left, they actually start sprinting, so you don't have to worry about them too much. I got unlucky that there was another zombie left behind there, so it cost me a few seconds, but it's not massive. So yeah, round 13, we grab the wood, we go over to the Zeus tower here. Points aren't massive, so I can just open that door. And it gave me I just placed the mixture into that bowl. So this special round, ideally you want it to come on round 12, but I got unlucky and it came on 13. That doesn't really cost a lot of time. It's just not ideal. I didn't have any problems with my ammo count. These special rounds are guaranteed to drop an ammo. So I didn't have problems with my ammo count on round 12, so it's not a big deal that I didn't get that. So I picked up the mixture, and I now place it between these trees, and I just have to wait 3 rounds. So the next special round, I want it to come on round 16, because then I can just quickly kill them, get my ammo refilled, and then round 17 I can go and do the next step with that fertilizer that I just placed. It can also come on round 17, which means I basically go through a full round on 16, and then 17, the fertilizer's ready and I can't do anything until the next round. So that would cost me about a minute, but it's not huge. That just shows you, though, RNG is quite a big factor in this run. Just one thing being at the wrong time costs me an entire minute. So yeah. So, end of the round, I just want to repack punch my gun. In the bottom right, after I've pack punched it again, you'll see now. Okay, couple times. So, you get a special ammo type. There you go. So in the bottom right, you see it says firebomb above my gun. I'm also just running over here to buy some ammo. I didn't actually have enough points, so I had to take a few seconds to kill a couple zombies. Ammo for a pack punch gun is very expensive, so having to pack punch it 4 times there cost me a lot of money. So yeah, it said firebomb above my gun. That is required for the next step, because when the fertilizer is ready, I need to kill a zombie with firebomb while it's standing on top of it. The pack punch will give you 1 of 4. I think it's 4, maybe 5 different ammo types. And it'll give you any of those except for the one that you already have, of course. So I can get it first try, or I can get it after like 10 tries. It usually doesn't take that many, but I might get really unlucky. It won't really hurt the run a lot, but it's a thing that can happen. I'm sure it'll be fine though. I've done many runs of this already, and I've only had to reset because of bad pack punch luck once. So yeah, you see, I got the special round on 16, which was really lucky because it tends to be that if you get the first one late, then the second one you'll also get late. But I got really lucky, got it really early, and then I can move on. So you can see the fertilizer's glowing green, that means it is ready. I just have to wait for a couple of zombies to spawn in. The firebomb is much more likely to activate when there's more than one zombie, so I tend to wait until there's a small group of them. And here we go. That flash of light means I've done it. And now I just have to stand here for about 15 seconds. I use my special weapons so I can just protect myself really effectively. If I don't use this, then it's really hard to stand still. So, the flash now, I've activated the step. I drink stock option, which means you can see in the bottom right, it's using my reserve ammo instead. So I can just fire all my bullets into these spores here. And then I get ammo, I go upstairs and do it again. I have to do this 3 times. And I get a few zombies spawn like that every 10 seconds or so. So I just have to kind of... I get a feeling for the timing. And then I can just turn around and shoot them. I can't just tank the hits with my shield because the shield is required for the step right after this. If I didn't have to, then I could just ignore the zombies and then kill them all in a bunch when I run up the stairs. I took a couple hits there, so yeah, that's done. Now, there's going to be, I think, one spawned here, yeah, so that symbol that appeared then, I have to shoot 4 of those around the map with my shield. They'll spawn in 4 of the around 9 locations. I got really lucky and got 2 of them straight away. So this step can lose you about 30 seconds, I feel like. And yeah, there's the third one in the very next spot. But I think the last one was a little bit unlucky. I just have... I have a route specifically for this. It just leads me between all of the spots in a straight path. Keep the zombies behind me so they don't kill me as I'm doing it. So yeah, I got the fourth one. Now there's 4 gladiators that spawn from each one. I just have to quickly kill them with my scorpion. You can tell they're for this step because they start spinning around. Got myself caught up a little bit, so I used my special weapon because that's another thing that makes us run a bit safer than the other zombie games. Because you can use your special weapon and it just blows up all the zombies really close to you, and also it makes you really hard to kill. So I went and bought some ammo. Usually I would do that as I'm running around the area getting the symbols, but I just forgot that time. A lot of things you gotta remember, so sometimes you just forget it. You know how it is. So these symbols, I have them committed to memory. There's 8 symbols or so, one for each different zombie type in this map. I'm just using depth perception to locate them. That's the other thing I mentioned it would be for. So I have to specifically... Okay, yeah. So this is something I wanted to go over. So another part of the RNG in this is obviously that step. If you kill one of the zombies in the wrong order, you lose the step. You have to go to the next round to try it again. Usually it's fine, but there's sometimes you get a fire zombie, and if he dies, if you get too close to him, he'll detonate himself, and that counts as failing it, because you didn't kill it. So that can be really risky, but what just happened then is that firebomb activated on a zombie right next to it. I didn't know it was there because it was sandwiched between the gladiator and the brawler, so sometimes that'll happen. It usually is fine, but it might cost me about 30 seconds like it did there. That zombie wasn't rendered in then. That was a bit weird. Yeah, so the gas that you saw there's catalyst zombies. Basically, the zombies transform into different elements. I don't know why it's not rendering them in like that. That's very strange. So yeah. Now this next one, I have to kill a brawler, a tiger, a Blightfather, which I haven't seen that, and an electric zombie, in that order specifically. So there's the sound of the Blightfather spawning. The Blightfather has kind of a set location. It likes to spawn in a very similar area each time. It's kind of hard to locate them sometimes. You just won't be able to see them through the walls occasionally, but it won't lose me much more than 20 seconds. So there's a Blightfather there. I don't know why everything's invisible, it's very strange. I would normally use my scorpion to kill it because the scorpion just melts it. But I was a bit unlucky, didn't have any ammo in it at the time. So I had to use my Spitfire, which is what this gun's called. So that only cost me a few seconds, it's nothing massive. So now the next step, I have to run around and shoot these with my shield. They take 60 shots to spin all the way up. So the shield shoots in bursts of 30 very quickly. So it's the quickest, easiest way to do it. It doesn't even have recoil, so it makes it a lot easier than my Spitfire, which has a ton of recoil. It's pretty consistent to get all of these in one lap, but sometimes the zombies will catch up with me and I might have to take a second to finish it. Like you see here, I didn't quite get it perfect So I gotta round up the zombies and run back because I wasn't feeling so good about this one specifically. I didn't realize it actually took all of my ammo to do that, so. But yeah, you see, it took me like 2 shots to finish that one off. It was just really unlucky. So now I need to get Kilowatt, got it on my very first try. So yeah, there's 2 spots where I have to pack punch for a specific ammo type. So hopefully I'll get them really quickly, won't have to spend like 2 whole rounds doing it or something. Tends to be pretty consistent. And now there's each of those things that I raised underground are now up here, and I have to use Kilowatt to kill zombies that are electrocuted in the circle around each of the lightning rods, I suppose. The Kilowatt has a bit of a cooldown, so I'm just running in circles, keeping a group of zombies around to get them charged up. So the Brawler and the Gladiator are really good for this. I don't know why it didn't count that, because I could see the electricity on the floor, which is the circle, and the Brawler was in that circle, so it was just the game being a bit mean. Sometimes it's a bit picky about it. But yeah, the Brawlers and the Gladiators actually got pinned in by that one. They count for 5 zombie kills, basically. Each rod requires 10 kills, and the Gladiators are 5 of those, so if I can kill the Gladiators in the circle, then that speeds it up incredibly fast. It doesn't even require Kilowatt to activate on them. I'm just going to grab these double points now so I have backup money. I don't usually need it, but it doesn't hurt. So yeah, the Gladiators don't require Kilowatt to activate on them. They'll just happen every single time. I was a bit dumb and I killed him on the circle. That's why I'm just looking at it like, what? Why didn't it work? So I'm a bit careful with that one. I'll probably make sure they're definitely in the circle when I do the real run. So yeah, special round pretty much always comes on this round here. So I can make sure I get the Gladiators and the Brawlers in these circles. The circles on the sides, like I'm doing, are like they're a bit tight. Those areas are a lot smaller than this corner I'm in now, and the fire makes it difficult to like survive when I have to be in those areas. So I kind of like to do the big areas with the zombies on round 18, and then I'll use the 4 Gladiators to do the side ones on 19. And if I do it really well, I can power up both of the side ones on 18 with just a few zombie kills and the couple of Gladiators that spawned. In case you're confused, I usually just describe the Gladiators and the Brawlers as the same thing. I'll just say Gladiators to keep it in general. The Brawlers are just kind of like a subtype. So yeah, powered up all the orbs, all the lightning rods, and then these orbs appear, and I have to activate them, which starts this. So now I have to survive a huge swarm of Gladiators and Tigers and Brawlers. And my specialist recharges instantly whenever I kill anything, so I just have to use the specialist weapon to survive this whole thing. I wasn't very good with using my special weapon in this run because I only have it mostly charged up on level 2. I would usually have it at level 3 before this step, so this run just wasn't perfect. But each of these kills is going to the XP bar, so it doesn't really hurt having it at level 2 that much. I just had to... I put my special weapon away because you have to unequip it to level it up when it's full on XP. I was a little bit early on it, so it didn't count there, but now it's level 3 and I can do this. Again, the game is being stupid and not rendering it properly, but I used a whirlwind ability, which means that anything around me, it will just get hit. It'll constantly take damage, so I can just throw myself at the gladiators and the tigers, and they'll get shredded. Dying Wish saved me there. What Dying Wish does is, if you go down to 1 health, it will just stop you from dying. You'll do way more melee damage, which is nice, because this is a melee type special weapon. And then you'll be invincible for a while. So yeah, the step ended. Now I have these symbols. I have to line them up through the walls, which means it's very precise. I kind of just have to get a good feeling for the positioning and where to aim on the symbol, and then I have to shoot them with the scorpion. This one I've had a bit of trouble with recently, so that took me a few shots. This one was actually quite a good run. Sometimes I will just really struggle with the symbol, and like the zombies will catch up with me and I'll have to take a few seconds to kill them off or do a lap of the area. I've been pretty consistent with it though. It's pretty unlikely that it'll happen during the marathon if I get in, but just saying it has a chance. Sometimes I'll even hit them all in one shot, so there's that. That would be pretty fun for everyone, I'm sure. So, after I shot those symbols, I just had to come in this room, stand on a pressure plate for a bit, and activate this. So I'm basically locked in this room, and I have to kill these zombies as quick as I can, so I can just keep them all spawning in. The quicker I kill each of these groups of zombies, the quicker the next group will spawn, basically. So I'm just running between all the doors. I actually thought it was over here because everything was taking forever to come in. And I was waiting for the max ammo that comes between the waves. So just trying to think if there's anything else I should mention. Yeah, so during the zoo step, that's like a minute and a half of just killing stuff. There's not really a lot going on. So I'll use that and probably this part as kind of a donation segment. Because the run will, when I've explained all the basics, the run will start to slow down a lot. It's still a very challenging run throughout, but I won't have so much to talk about as I did right at the start, where I could barely keep up. So yeah, donations will have plenty of time in this. Basically, each of these waves will get a little bit harder. So you saw in the first one there were tigers and there was a couple of fire zombies. And now this time I've got some poison ones there. And there'll be some gladiators spawning in a little bit. I get max ammo for after the first and second wave of this. But after the third one, I don't get one. So I save the second one for after that. So I'm ready for the end. Because after this is the boss fight. So I like to have all the ammo I can for that. I can buy ammo for this Spitfire just off the wall in this room as well, so it's really convenient. But for the Scorpion, I can't just buy ammo. There's literally no way to fill it up naturally. That's why I like to use the max ammo from this, right at the end, so I got my special ammo ready.
Need to grab more cartridges.
I only need a few, like about 10 shots of the Scorpion for the next wave, so I can use it to just finish off the second one there. So this last wave, it gets really hectic. I have to be very quick on killing things to stay on top of it. Because he'll start off with a lot more tigers than I've had so far. And there'll be some catalyst zombies, which are what the elements are called. The elemental zombies. And then there'll be a bunch of gladiators, and there'll be a Blightfather even at one point. We'll see if it actually renders in this time. So yeah, I'm just trying to kill things as quick as I can. Especially the gladiators, because they're kind of like the main things. I know where all of the gladiators spawn in order, so I kind of just know where I want to stand. You can kind of hear the metal sounds whenever a gladiator spawns. That's just the sign that one of them is there. You hear the sound there. There's two of them that spawned, so there'll be one here. The hitbox there is a little bit weird. Sometimes the invisible barrier kind of blocks your bullets for some reason. Yeah, you can hear there's just gladiators spawning constantly. And there's the Blightfather. So I used my special weapon there before it even got too hectic, because the poison zombies are like the symbol for the final stand of this part. Yeah, so there's a little thing with the Scorpion that I haven't mentioned yet. It doesn't really come across in theater mode, but I'm actually firing it incredibly fast. It's supposed to fire maybe once per second. But if I click to shoot and I spam reload at the same time, it'll reload it instantly, so I can just really melt any gladiators or Blightfathers. So yeah, the step ended. I used anywhere but here to just teleport out of there, because that room is the furthest away it possibly can be from the top, where the door was there. So anywhere but here is just a benefit no matter what. Just like at the start where I finished the champions. So yeah, the boss fight is another good spot for donations, because I used to think that you had to be killing stuff here constantly to get it to progress really quickly, but then I watched the world record run and found out that you just run in circles for about a minute and a half. You do absolutely nothing and it'll progress. You just have to make sure you kill these gladiators at the end. So yeah, there's not a lot to talk about. It's just going to be running around with these gladiators, making sure I'm not getting trapped or anything, because they can kill you very quickly. The brawlers, when they jump, they'll do kind of a flurry of attacks with their claws. Each of the attacks does 50 damage, and they do like 3 hits a second, so you'll die if you just try and stand in front of one. So I guess I can explain what's going to happen in a second. So the door on the other side where these gladiators came from is where the boss is going to come out of. I'm kind of looking at my timer at this point to see how long I've been doing this, because there's no symbol of when the boss is ready. So I just keep an eye on the timer. About a minute and a half in, I will use my charge shot to just take care of a bunch of these gladiators. The charge shot just, it makes one of them kind of the center of the electricity, and it'll arc out to all the nearby zombies and gladiators and do constant damage to them. I'm just looking into the gate to see if anything is spawning in, because while I'm doing this, if any tigers or more gladiators start spawning, that's a bad sign. That means I've done it too early. But nope, we're fine. And there's the boss. It's a big elephant, but it actually is very weak. So stock option again, I can just mow into this crystal, which is basically its weak spot. I can tell when it's done because I'll stop getting hit markers. And then phase 2, I use the shield to mow it down really quickly again, shooting the bit on its head. I have to look for the animation there. As soon as that animation starts, it's dead, so I just stop bothering. I'll throw a grenade into the group of zombies, because it's nice to have a max ammo, even if I didn't need it, because one spawned anyway. And then I just have to wait by this door, because for some reason they thought killing the elephant boss in 30 seconds wasn't good enough. So I gotta do it again, when it's barely even changed.
No, no, no.
So yeah, I just gotta wait for it to spawn in. I'll melt this one with the Spitfire as well, same as last time. When I'm doing the shield part, it actually can be a little bit dangerous, but that's what Dying Wish is for, because during that bit, you saw all those zombies. They spawn in very quickly, so if I'm not careful about where I run when it's dead, they can full surround me and I can lose my Dying Wish. So same as last time, gonna shoot the crystal until hit markers and the flashing is done. And then I'll get my shield out and shoot it in the head. And there you go. So that will be the end of the run. I'll just use my specialist to protect myself from the zombies, because the announcer likes to do a little 30-second-ish bit at the end. And then at the end of this, there'll be an ending cutscene, and the start of that is when the time will be ending. So there you go. Oh, I can't actually access the controls, so I can't pause it or anything. But yeah, I can skip this cutscene, so it's not entirely necessary to show it. Oh, okay, so that's how it works. So when I'm doing my runs, oh, that's odd how that works. When I'm doing my runs, I tend to just leave the game instead of watching the entire cutscene, because I've seen it like 10 times before I started quitting. But you can let me know if you'd like me to show the cutscene at the end. There's also a cutscene at the start during the loading screen, which you didn't get to see. So at the start of the run, there'll be a loading screen. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes. Not sure really, haven't timed it. And there's a cutscene that I can press escape to skip, but then you'll just be looking at a black screen. So let me know if I get in, that if you want me to show the cutscene at the start and at the end, or I can just press escape at the start, make it black, and the game will load in as quick as possible. I'm sure you'd rather that because speed. But yeah, that's all from me. I hope you liked the run, and hope I get in, I suppose.